Hello again. I'll start the intermediate tutorial by answering a question left unanswered in the beginner's guide. We know those dots are called expressions, but what do the colors mean? When you parley different NPCs, you'll notice that certain parley types are blocked. For example, this dwarf in Bordenar's Cleft doesn't have entertain parleys where red is blocked because his race is primarily based on red cards. Red cards are called demand cards. Here in Rinton's Keep, this NPC is missing a convince parley. Convince parleys block blue, or expression based on inspiration. His racial deck consists of mostly blue or inspire cards. Check this list to see which race relies on which color. We see the dwarf listed as being demand or red based, and the Thestran human as being inspire or blue based. Green expression is related to reason, and yellow is related to flattery. Convince parleys block blue, entertain parleys block red, gossip blocks green, and incite blocks yellow. Interview parleys allow all colors to be played. If I start out as a goblin, for example, most of my starting cards will be green. Since gossip parleys block green, I'll want to avoid those until I have a more color-balanced deck. My secondary color is yellow or flattery. This color is determined by which class your character is, in this case, a blood mage. To determine your secondary color, go to vgtac.com, click DiploWiki at the top, and click Class under Player Characteristics. While you're doing the lower level diplomacy quests, you'll be rewarded with gear, like these gloves that give +1 to an expression of your choice. The boots give +14 to your outsider presence. This lace shirt gives +10 to soldier and crafter presence, and you'll get pants, a belt, and a rod. You'll also get random vendor loot like this skull that you can sell for cash. Any item that says may be valuable to a merchant in the description can be sold for cash. The clothing is nice, and you'll also learn about 6 or 7 more cards, including a very important purple card like this one. It takes 3 expression of different colors and will give you 5 influence. You will use this card a lot, so make sure you get it before level 7. Here's a tip I've learned from personal experience. Before picking a card from a quest reward, make sure you don't have it already in your deck. While you're running around doing diplomacy quests, be on the lookout for more diplomacy quests by clicking on every yellow shield you see. Also, keep an eye out for a timed quest where the NPC lets you borrow his horse. Equip the horse by right-clicking on it in your bag. Open up your Mount tab, drag the horse icon to a shortcut slot, and click the shortcut to mount the horse. You'll have 25 minutes to complete this quest. This quest gives you a saddlebag with 12 slots. You cannot use saddlebags without having a horse, so you must buy a horse at Adventuring level 10 or get the diplomacy horse. Sometime in your early quests, you will get a quest that requires more presents than you have. This quest requires 50 soldier presents for me to complete it. When I look at my character screen under the Diplomacy tab, I see that I only have 21 soldier presents. This is solely from the clothing that I am wearing. To get it to 50, I can buy clothing with higher presents, or I can parley for permanent presents. I've decided to parley for it, so I need to find some soldiers that I can parley with. I know there are some civic soldiers that are level 10 hanging out at the local tavern. I'm currently level 5, so I can parley any NPC level 10 or less. I will parley soldiers over and over until my presence reaches 50. Then I can complete my quest. What if you need to parley for presents and you don't know where to go? Once again, go to vgtac.com, click DiploWiki at the top, and click Civic NPCs in the middle of the screen. Look for the station you need with the level you can parley and find the city that contains those NPCs. Other than presents, what else do we gain from a successful parley? Check your spam window to see. We gain experience to our diplomacy level, faction with the local natives, and prestige with that city. The window will also show presence gains, but not every parley awards presents. We gain presents every 5 to 12 parleys depending on how well we've done the parley. You'll notice Increase the Watch, Raised by 1, and Call to Arms and Prepare for Battle were both lowered by 1. These are called civic levers. In most towns, when you raise this lever number to 40, you will activate a citywide buff that will affect anyone within the city's boundaries. Here I've raised the Prepare for Battle lever to 42 and activated the Prepare for Battle buff, which gives +25 to blacksmithing skills. Here you'll see the lever amount being affected by 1 point, and here they're affected by 4 points. The more presence you have in that station, the faster you'll push the lever. In civic diplomacy, you can buff crafting skills and adventuring skills, and you can grant temporary diplomacy cards. For a list of civic diplomacy buffs, go to vgtac.com, click DiploWiki at the top, and click on levers in the middle of the screen. Now that you've seen how winning parleys can affect your experience, faction, prestige, presence, and levers, what happens if you lose? You can lose prestige with the city as well as faction. To see a listing of your faction, type /SoH in the chat window. Here, I've won a parley that has gotten one Martok clan faction and one Port of Martok faction. When I type /SoH, I can see how my faction has changed. You'll see a dynamic rating and a full rating listed. To become non-kill on site with a city, your full rating must be at -7999 or greater. You can also check faction by clicking your character sheet, Diplomacy tab, and clicking the Faction tab. Be careful when losing parleys. If your full rating drops below -7999, you'll become kill on site and the NPC will kill you. Before traveling, find out ahead of time if your race is kill on site by visiting chaos.net/koschart.htm. To see what monsters to kill, visit vgtac.com, click DiploWiki at the top, and click Gaining Faction in KOS areas in the lower right-hand corner. To see where to craft for faction, visit vanguardspheres.com/wiki/crafting faction table. Here, my Goblin Blood Mage is kill on site to Tanvu, so I will kill Olvari minions until my faction is -7999 or greater. Most 2-dot monsters are worth 1 faction, but 3 dots are worth 10 faction. I now have safe access to Tanvu. Here's a tip. You cannot do other races' beginning tutorials for their cards. Now you know the basics of diplomacy. At this point, you may be wondering how to level your diplomat. There's a lot to do as a diplomat, and everyone levels differently. You can start the web quest when you have 5 soldier presents. When finished, you'll have a complete suit of presence gear. You can grind 1,000 prestige for titles like these. Once you get 3 titles on the same continent, you can visit an altar for a greater title. When you have all 3 continental titles, you can get the Esteemed Exemplar title, which also grants you this rod at level 35. You can level your diplomat's experience and station just by grinding civic NPCs. As a bonus, you'll get pieces of information that you can give to informants for presence gear, or you can save them for the Guildhall quest. For a list of informant locations, go to vgtac.com, click DiploWiki, and type informants in the search box. I know of a diplomat who levels simply by parleying until her presence stations are equal with each other. Remember that merchants are not yet in game to parley with, so the only way to increase it is through clothing. As you're leveling, you'll want to get as many cards as you can. Quests, killing monsters, and killing Smelly Cat in Aughrim can all give cards. Parleying with bartenders can give cards, food, presence gear, baubles, rip shards, and items that grant extra expression at all levels. Baubles can be used in the Guildhall quest or to increase prestige. They are also used to craft diplomacy items. When parleying bartenders, keep an eye open for Macken's Bitter Revenge. When you drink it, you have the chance at winning this card or dying. Remember, you do not gain presents for bartender parleys. Diplomats can do writ quests once they are level 15 and have 500 prestige with the appropriate city. Rewards include facets that can be turned in for gems to place into diplomacy masks. As of November 2007, masks are not yet in game. When you reach level 31 and have 700 or more presents in your stations, there's a lot to do in New Targonor. The house quests offer cards, presence items, a 32-slot information bag, deeds, and a colored barding for your horse. For more information about these quests, visit vgtac.com, click DiploWiki at the top, and click on New Targonor Noble Houses at the bottom right. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you'll give diplomacy in Vanguard a shot. As always, if you have further questions, visit vgtac.com, or you can type /joindip in game and speak in there.